Hey everybody, this is Super Underdoggy, and I wanted to show you probably the coolest thing toy-wise that I will ever own in my entire life, for as long as it lasts, I suppose. So this is the, so far, one and only shipping container for the Mego World's Greatest Superheroes action figures in the 8-inch size, such as my dear friend Superman here. Anyone familiar with Mego knows that these figures were manufactured and packaged in different ways during the 10 years or so that they were popular in the 70s and early 80s. Originally they were in boxes, and back then they would ship in a different cardboard container that had a display, so lots of colorful graphics, and the box figures would sit right in the display, and then sometimes enterprising store clerks or maybe customers would say, hey, that's cool, it's got graphics on it, can I take it home? And or they just took it home, and a lot of those survived. This particular box came later whenever they introduced the carded figures, and as you can see, the carded figures have a peg hole to where they could hang on a peg. That's what that is, of course. And obviously a lot of this is basic for everyone who knows and loves Mego. But anyway, so they'd hang on a peg rack, and they kind of were their own display. It features some of the other figures, obviously, so you know what's in the series. If you flip it over, it's got more collect them all different action figures that they made. So they really didn't need any colorful packaging. However, they did need a mechanism to delineate between the assortments. So I'm the store manager of the toy store, and I order a certain assortment. The warehouse could grab this, write in the assortment number, pack it accordingly, and then ship it off to wherever it goes. I've actually been to the Mego warehouse, which is quite exciting, and I've got pictures and stuff of that. Anyway, separate story. But so that's that. So we imagine that a lot of times this would simply get thrown out, whenever they're done. Back then they didn't recycle cardboard, so they're done packing them, they throw it in the pile or throw it in the trash, and they're gone. Then I would imagine, as Mego kind of wound up its reign and was not really selling a lot of action figures, I don't know what they did. Did they just ship them in plain boxes? Did they continue to ship in these boxes until they were out of inventory, or did they just throw out whatever was left? Did they not reorder? Don't know, but so far nobody's found one of these. So the question becomes, where did this one come from? Well, apparently Mego had some inventory that they allowed to go to a third party. It was a whole collection of Star Trek tricorders cassette tape players, and they were found several years ago, and then I ended up buying them. And the tricorders were in a bunch of different boxes. They were in an old detergent box. They were in an old, commercial type stuff. So, you'd imagine if you're in a factory, there's detergent. They clean the floors, maybe. I don't know. There's all kinds of different stuff that comes in boxes. Paper, maybe. I don't know. So somebody grabbed a lot of the boxes. They threw a bunch of tricorders in the boxes, and apparently they needed a box, and the return department is right next to the shipping area. So apparently somebody grabbed one of these boxes, loaded it with tricorders, and then it went off on its merry way, where it was stored and then later found 30 years later, 20 or 30 years later. So if you come around to this side, you can see where some Mego employee wrote 9 pieces of 51218. Well, 51218 is the Mego Star Trek tricorder cassette player. So there you go. He threw the last 9, and interestingly enough, 9 fit about right in this thing. So there you have it. That's why we have the last surviving member of the planet Krypton. Oh wait, I'm sorry, the last surviving Mego World's Greatest Superheroes box. So that's kind of what we've got here. You can see it's somewhat trashed. Well, not trashed. I think it's actually in great shape, with the exception of this one corner. This one corner's kind of got a little bit of a blowout. But again, I could repair it. You could reseal it, but I don't want to do that. I want to leave it in its original condition. What do you want? It's the only one we've got. So hopefully my house doesn't burn down or something. As far as stacking, these would go in, you know, just like this. Fits 2 dozen. And I've got an ISIS here, and it's really not even a complete ISIS. It is an original card though, but I don't have a lot of carded figures anymore, so I'm just using it as a display. So it goes just like this, you know, bada bing. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I can count to 24 by 2s. So you can see it would be a full case, lock that baby up, and send it off to Circus World or whatever. So there it is, the one and only Mego World's Greatest Superheroes carded action figure shipping case. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.